Perched high on a branch, an Eastern Bluebird scans the grass below. Then it spots something. The bluebird drops from the tree and lands beside its potential prey. For a moment, it doesn't strike. Instead, the bird examines the insect carefully. It has found food, but not every insect is worth eating. After a brief inspection, the bluebird makes its decision. The insect disappears in a quick movement of the bill. This simple act reveals much about the Eastern Bluebird. It is a patient hunter, using elevated perches to survey open ground before making a precise descent to investigate potential prey. This is the story of the Eastern Bluebird. A small songbird, measuring between 6 and 8 inches long and weighing just over 1 ounce. The male can't be mistaken for anything else. His back, wings, and tail are bright blue against a warm orange throat and breast. The female, on the other hand, is more reserved, with blue wings and tail feathers, greyish body feathers, and a softer orange tint. Juveniles resemble females until they mature. Eastern bluebirds are found throughout much of eastern and central North America, extending from southern Canada through the United States and into certain areas of Mexico. They prefer open or partially open habitats, such as meadows, pastures, farmland, orchards, parks, and the edges of woodlands. They need open ground where they can feed and some elevated perches from which to hunt. In the past, natural tree cavities were used as nesting sites, but since landscapes have changed and suitable cavities have become rare, artificial nest boxes have become increasingly important to this species. Eastern bluebirds are to some extent migratory. Those in the northern areas usually travel south during the winter, while populations in more southern regions may stay in the same general area all year. During spring and summer, the Eastern bluebird feeds mainly on insects. These provide the protein needed to fuel growth and reproduction. Its perch hunting strategy, seen earlier, is particularly effective in open areas with short grass, where prey is easier to detect. As autumn approaches and insects become less abundant, the bluebird changes its diet. Berries and other fruits become increasingly important, including those produced by holly, dogwood, and sumac. The Eastern bluebird is territorial during the breeding season. A male bird sets up a territory that includes suitable nesting sites and feeding areas, but the female decides the final nest location and builds it, typically in a natural cavity or in a nest box. She builds the nest from grasses, pine needles, and other plant material. The female lays a clutch of 3 to 5 pale blue eggs, with 4 being typical. The incubation period is about 2 weeks. When the chicks have hatched, the 2 parents take food to the nest, and insects supply the protein the young need to grow quickly. Within a few weeks, the juveniles are ready to leave the nest. But they must still learn how to find food, recognize predators, and eventually survive without their parents. Life for a bluebird is full of dangers. Snakes, raccoons, squirrels, and other predators might break into the nests, while birds of prey can pose a threat to the adults. Competition for nesting cavities is another major challenge. The European starling and the house sparrow, having been introduced to North America, can compete with the Eastern bluebird for available nesting sites. Severe winter weather can also decrease survival by preventing access to food. And yet, the bluebird is adaptable. It can feed on both insects and fruit, enabling it to adapt to seasonal changes, and it can also use artificial nest boxes in situations where natural cavities are scarce. These behaviors have enabled the species to remain widespread, even though there have been major changes in its environment. In many areas during the 20th century, Eastern bluebird numbers decreased due to changes in habitat and competition for nesting cavities. Conservation programs, especially those involving nest boxes and habitat management, helped stop these declines, and the Eastern bluebird is once again a common sight. Its recovery shows what conservation can achieve when people understand wildlife's needs. Protecting the habitats that sustain the Eastern bluebird helps ensure that this familiar songbird will remain a living part of North America's countryside for generations to come.